Okay, so here you go. One of the most disappointing losses that you can see. Uh, Tea time, India had the match well and truly under control in terms of a draw. And then comes that absolute moment of madness from Rishabh Pant. How many times will we say this? How many times will we say, oh, you know what, Rishabh Pant plays like that? The game in the bag, he's batted 100 balls. Yashasvi Jaiswal batting like a dream. All of a sudden, that shot of Travis Head of all people, there is no reason to play that shot. There is a long on. There is a long on. The fielder is played for that madness, and Rishabh Pant walks into that trap, gives that wicket away, and thereafter that collapse. Ravindra Jadeja off that ball. Yes, you can say umpiring inconsistency. You must, because the Bangladeshi third umpire, if you have gone to Snicko, why did you go to Snicko if you can rely on your common sense? If you are relying on common sense, what about the Akashdeep dismissal? Because in that case, you went to Snicko. And if you bring in the KL Rahul dismissal from Perth, there are clear cases here of inconsistency on the part of the third umpire. But this is not a loss that can be attributed to that. This is a loss that is going to be attributed to India's self-destruction. And it started with Rishabh Pant. You know, three down, match in control, everything, Australian shoulders dropping. You've had a session without a wicket, another 1 hour, and clearly the game is done. And Pant plays that. Gargi and Trisha joining me. I'll go to Gargi first, then to Trisha. What was going on, and how does one explain a shot like that?
You can't. All you can say is this, that India have self-destructed. And I knew the moment Rishabh Pant got out that the match was gone. I just had a feeling, I had a very, very negative feeling at that point, because we were talking 2 seconds, I think 2 minutes before Rishabh Pant got out. Me and Trisha were talking about how Rishabh Pant and Yashasvi Jaiswal need to bat another 1 hour like they were already, and then take on aggression if that's what they wanted to do. That is exactly the conversation we were having, and 2 balls later, Rishabh Pant plays it right into the hands of the fielder. How many times have we seen this from Rishabh Pant? 2 times on a trot. This is irresponsible. And to quote Sunil Gavaskar, stupid, stupid, and stupid. Because at this point, you don't want. There we go. Now,
So all that is part of it.
yeah.
They have won a match that they should not have won. They have won a match that India gifted away. Take a look at the dismissals before I go to Trisha. Rohit Sharma, gifted wicket. Absolute gifted wicket after he has batted for 40 balls. He's blunted the new ball, then you throw it away. Virat Kohli, gifted wicket. KL Rahul should have removed the bat, not a ball that was unplayable. It's okay. Not a ball that was unplayable. So 1, 2, 3 gifted wickets. Number 4, absolute gifted wicket, Rishabh Pant. I'll take the Ravindra Jadeja ball. It was a really good ball. Having said that, after that, if you see the way things went today, half of India's dismissals, half of them were gifted wickets, one after the other, Trisha, and that is what irks me big time.
Absolutely. I think if you see the top order, be it Rohit, be it Kohli, apart from KL Rahul, mostly I mean, even Yashasvi Jaiswal, when you're set, you're gifting your wicket away with that shot. It was unnecessary. Some 21 or 22 odd overs to go in the day. All of them somehow, what were we trying to achieve? What was Rohit trying to achieve with that shot? You are definitely not going after the target. That's for sure. Unnecessary shot. Kohli, I mean, 6, 7 times in the same series.
Same way.
That's the point. In the same series, same way you're getting out. You
Every
don't have
time the Australians
self-discipline.
know that this guy's ego will be way more important than anything else. They'll play on his ego, bowl that channel he'll edge.
I mean, how is he great if this happens, And even each one of them, I think even Yashashvi, when you're well set, why was that shot needed? Baffling strategies from all the Indian batters and baffling.
Yeah, that shot of Jaiswal, that shot before I go to you, that shot of Jaiswal was completely unnecessary. He could have saved that match. He was the batter who was looking outstanding. He was. I mean, and Washington Sundar was still there. He could have saved that match. And between Jaiswal and Sundar, they can, clearly 20 overs left. Why would you give it away at that point in time? Yes, Gargi, you were making a point.
No, I was saying this is complete lack of responsibility from the Indian batters. There needs to be a reality check. There needs to be an intervention. There needs to be a conversation about this, because how are we giving away wickets like this when you are in a grave situation? You saw that happening in the first innings. You saw that happening now again as well. From a point where you were in control of the game, you had three responsible batters ahead, and you completely lost it from there. I don't know how that happened. It's not like Australia were looking the best they've ever had. The bowlers were tired. Mitchell Stark had a niggle, and you don't take advantage of that. Instead, you just gave away your wicket. I think there needs to be a serious conversation in the dressing room about what is going on in these batters' head, because I think it's a game of ego. I honestly think it's a game of ego when it comes to all these things. I need to hit big. I need to look a certain way. It's incredible. I mean, I can't explain it. Can you explain it? I don't think any one of us can explain why the batters are going for these shots, knowing full well that they have lost their wickets the same way in this series. Throughout this series, you have gifted wickets. I don't understand. You haven't let Australia take any wickets.
Coming to the Rishabh Pant moment, Trisha, that's the moment. I mean, if you have to identify one moment, it is the Rishabh Pant moment. Of course, you will have to identify the Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli moments and call them out, but that is not when India lost the match. India lost the match with Rishabh Pant. Because you've batted the post-lunch session without a wicket. You've gone through the difficult grind. You now have to bat one more hour for the last 15-20 overs to kick in, 20-25 overs to kick in. Australia has gone to Travis Head. All you need to do is milk, because you have a long on there. All you need to do is milk a single and cross over Jaiswal in full flow. And what does Rishabh Pant do? He takes the long on. Here at the MCG, the long boundary, the straight boundary is close to 80 odd meters. And you're actually chancing your arm to clear a 80-meter boundary, not even square. And that is that moment of harakiri that cost India a test match. Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, 1984 England. Kapil Dev was dropped for playing this shot. If Rishabh Pant is not dropped, no one's saying he should be dropped, but the fact is some words from the dressing room, from Gautam Gambhir, they've got to sit him down and ask the question, what is going on? For how long will you say, I play like this? You weren't playing like that, by the way. 104 balls, you weren't playing like that. You were playing responsible cricket. All of a sudden, that irresponsibility cost your team a match and probably the series, probably a spot in the WTC final. That is how important that moment of madness from Rishabh Pant is.
Absolutely. I think, yes, Rohit, Kohli were poor. We were 3 wickets down already. All taken into consideration. You have gone one whole session without losing a wicket. You have come back. All you need to do is not lose a wicket for the next 1 hour, and you have saved the game.
Exactly.
And because Mitchell Stark is injured, he's not going to come back and bowl in full steam for more than 2-3 hours, 2-3 overs every spell. He cannot, because he was going out, and we could see he was getting massage right there on the field. And who were the bowlers bowling? Travis Head at one end, Nathan Lyon.
And there was no help.
Exactly my point. It's not like there was turn. It's not like there was huge variable bounce that one ball is keeping very low. It wasn't like that. And all you needed to do, both of them were settled. Rishabh was playing a very good
Superb innings so far before that moment of madness. And my point is, why is the guy taking the fielder on? There is a long on there. A bowler is bowling of the quality of Travis Head, who you play every day in your locality. And all you need to do is milk. Just milk singles.
And it's not like you were going for victory. I'm repeating again, unless you were going for victory, you definitely did not have to play that shot. You can just, roll your wrist over and go for a single.
2 points. Even if you were going for a victory, that was not the time to go for a victory. You could have batted 1.5 hour more.
You're not
consolidating your point.
And you have saved.
You've saved the match, then you can go for a victory. At that point, there was no need shot. And how many times is Rishabh Pant going to get a pass when it comes to these shots, saying that, you know what, I've won you games playing like this as well. But now it hurts more. You know why? Because it happened in the first innings as well. That's what makes it so baffling that he would do it once again.
My problem with that shot is twofold. One, suppose it went for six. What is the percentage risk in that shot? The percentage risk in that shot is always going to be more than 70-80%.
Absolutely.
Cricket is a percentage game. When you have a long on placed in a stadium as big as MCG, by the way, that shot would have gone for six in Sydney, would have gone for six in Adelaide, would have gone for six in Perth. But this is a different ground. It is one of the longest boundaries, and you're taking that boundary on with a fielder there. That is the problem. Why would you play a shot where the percentage chance of you clearing, even if you got 6 runs, how does it matter? Will those 6 runs at that point make a difference to your match situation? No, it would not. Rather, you are actually walking into a trap and you took that on against a Travis Head, which made zero sense to me whatsoever. Australia was Travis Head did not believe it. He was laughing because, and by the way, where did the ball land? The ball was half tracker. This guy goes back. He could have hit anywhere. He targets long on where a fielder is placed and he goes there. Sadly for me, the turning point of the day was Rishab Pant. And I'm tired of hearing that Rishab Pant plays like this. Sorry, you are playing a collective sport, then go play an individual sport. You are playing for a team, and at this point in time, you have let your team down. You have let your team down in this game, maybe from the perspective of the series, may also be from the perspective of the WTC standings and the final. Australia now has 1 foot there. And Rishabh Pant has to own up responsibility that it was a moment of absolute nonsense from Rishabh Pant. Will the captain question? Does he have legs to question? Will Gautam Gambhir question? Will the team management question? These are questions that we have to ask because why this loss is hurting so much, Trisha, because you feel gutted that you gifted a game away. Australia did not win, India lost it.
Absolutely. I think what I liked was what you said. The captain can question Rishabh. Does he have that legs to question Rishabh? Because the captain himself has been so poor throughout the series that I don't know how much can he question, but definitely Gautam Gambhir can. The team management can sit Rishabh down and not question him, but at least explain to him that this is not the situation where you go for this shot. It's fantastic the way he plays. I don't think anybody has asked him to change the way he plays. All you have to do is, and it's common sense, And I think Rishabh also knows that he has to stop, playing such shots at crunch situations. But Gargi, I mean, from Rishabh Pant, should we go to Rohit a bit?
Yeah.
To the PC. Well, I was just reading what Rohit Sharma has to say about the PC. Should I read it out?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, beginning with, he said that we had chances in this series, in this game, but we have been failing to grab those chances. We had the opportunity today to pull the game in our favor or draw it. Then he said, I stand where I am standing today. Nothing to think nothing to think about in the past, something like that. Lots of things I am trying to do as a batter is not falling into place. You want to come here and try to do things successfully, but it doesn't come off and it is disappointing. Of course, it's disappointing. Still a game to go. If we play well, it'll be 2-2. Not enough time for the next match. We have to look at things which haven't gone our way. We don't want to give up.
Yeah, why would you want to give up?
Obviously, these are comments from a captain who, it's a defensive act. I don't think he can say anything else. So that quashes all discussions about Rohit Sharma retiring at the press conference, which he should not, by the way. If you ask me, by abandoning the ship at this point in time as captain and walking away is not the thing to do. If you want to go, you go at the end of the Sydney test. You play the Sydney test, you go. There is no reason for you not to at that point in time. But with 3 days left, the captain says, I'm going home tomorrow. Doesn't really work because you are the leader of the ship. Take responsibility. Go to Sydney. Pick yourselves up because you have no other option. You have your back to the wall 1-2. You come and clear it. But let's ask some important questions. You played a 5-bowler attack. 2 of your bowlers, Washington Sundar and Nitish Reddy, hardly bowled. Thank you. Nitish Reddy and Washington Sundar hardly bowled. So you're actually going in with 3 bowlers. My question to both of you, 94 for 6 Australia. If Bumrah and Siraj aren't exhausted, you roll them over for 130.
Yeah.
Because your 2 premier bowlers are exhausted, you don't have bowlers with Washington Sundar and Nitish Reddy. Unfortunately, you played them as all-rounders. You don't have confidence to give them bowling. They've contributed with the bat, yes. But here comes the question. Akashdeep wasn't suited for this pitch. It was a hit-the-deck pitch. It was a far more different wicket. We went with Akashdeep not in Adelaide, but after that. So one selection error after another has cost India right through the series. Pink ball, you did not play Akashdeep. You played him later. All of these issues are coming to haunt India. Looking ahead, do you see changes in Sydney? Do you see any different attitude, anything that India can possibly do? Both of you, you go first, Risha, then I go to Gargi.
Yeah, I think you have to get in Harshit Rana probably. Even though Mohammad Siraj has done well in the second innings, probably get in Harshit Rana in place of either, Akashdeep or Siraj, because right now I don't even think that India can remove Bumrah, though ideally workload management would mean he might need some rest. But yeah, I think again, Harshit Rana probably. I don't think you have enough time to make 5 6 changes. But also, if the Sydney pitch is not really assisting spinners, I don't know if you want to go with both Jadeja and Washington Sundar. Maybe get in a Harshit Rana in one of their places.
Doesn't hold up.
That See, the point is they would anyway not hold up. Washington Sundar has played 45 balls this innings, but all alone. You can't also. Here's the thing: your batting doesn't hold up is fine, but when they were 94 for 6, if we had bowled them out for 110, even your batting, probably the whole thing would have been different. You have to take 20 wickets, Boria. That's how you win a test match.
I actually thought in the second innings with the ball, India showed best intensity.
Yeah.
Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah. My question is, would you replace Akashdeep with Harshit Rana?
Yeah.
Because you changed that. Akashdeep hasn't bowled too badly. But the question is with the batting. The batting, will Rohit Sharma continue to open? Will KL Rahul be pushed down to number 3? KL Rahul was juggled because he wanted to give the captain. Today he looked the part and all of a sudden he gives it up. Going into Sydney, where is the clarity? You have said if we play well, we can make it 2-2. What is the process of making it 2-2? Just turning up at a press conference and saying, oh, we are trying too many things aren't coming off, isn't the answer. What is the way India will go about it? Yes, you have a Bumrah. Bumrah will give you breakthroughs. Siraj all of a sudden yesterday bowled well. Can he continue doing that in Sydney and be the support cast that Bumrah needs? Harshit Rana has had enough rest. Will you get him in? Fresh bowler, hit the deck. Will the Sydney track? And by the way, the weather isn't that bad. No. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you will have game in Sydney at this point if you check the weather prediction. So there will be a result, even if there is weather around. Can India turn it around, you reckon?
At this point, it's very difficult to stay positive. But you have to back your team. Like Rohit Sharma said, I know this is an incredibly heartbreaking, as equally disappointing and equally humiliating as well, because you were in a position where you could have turned this into a draw, but you lost complete control of the match. But at this point, you have to be positive. Even if it's an act, you have to be positive and back the team. Maybe this series could end 2-2, and we can save our record here with not having lost on Australian soil. That's the best case scenario at this point. You can't be. I don't think you should end this series with a loss. It's just shouldn't happen.
He's spoken about umpiring. Technology did not show anything. Naked eye, it showed it touched. I don't know what the umpires want to use. In all fairness, he did touch the ball. We don't want to look too much into that. We are just falling on the wrong side of it, says Rohit Sharma in the press conference. So yes, like we said, we weren't saying that the Jaiswal dismissal was not out. Not once. It was out. But if you are banking on common sense, then you bank on common sense even for Akashdeep. You bank on common sense for KL Rahul in Perth. Yes, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but the kind of inconsistency we are seeing with umpiring right through the series is a problem for a high-profile series as the BGT. Rohit can't say more in a press conference because then he will be sanctioned by the ICC. We know that a captain can't openly speak more than what he has. He has said what the umpires want to use, they are. More important question, I hope someone asks him about the punch shot. I hope someone asks what about it. Will the dressing room speak to him? Because Rishabh Pant at this point in time is a senior player, Trisha. He's not a rookie. He's a senior player. Even Jaiswal. Why would you not want to close that match? Why play that shot when Washington Sundar is still there with you?
Boryada, I think even if you ask Rohit that question right now, it's very difficult for Rohit to probably point anything out because of the situation that Rohit is himself in with his form. As far as the Jaiswal and Punch shot is concerned, of course, I think everyone needs to show maturity. The problem is at the wrong time we are somehow losing that headspace, and that is where. Somewhere we the team needs to sit as a unit. Absolutely, they need to sit as a collective unit and talk to each other and understand that what exactly is going through every single person's mind, because there's so much of unnecessary gifting of wickets, not only in the second innings, even in the first innings, that we came back from behind. But if you see, even in the first innings, 7 wickets were gifted away. This innings, we are gifting wickets. Australia actually has had to do very little for us to just throw our wickets away. And that is why I think everybody needs to sit together and have a chat and be like, one more thing, I liked what you said. Right now, the ship is sinking. You can't run out of the ship and say, I'm retiring and I'm going back to India. You can't. You have to be there. You have to say, look, if you genuinely believe, whether we make it 2-2, we will turn up and do our best
You have
from
to
now
turn
on.
up. What option do you have? You can't have a captain who just says, okay, fair enough, good night and thank you. I mean, then you don't deserve to be captain. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have been the two flop shows of this series. Make no mistake. Virat Kohli is getting out like a child.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't want your best batter to get out like that. You don't want your captain to continuously fail. Having said that, if Rohit Sharma retires in that press conference, it is a disaster. You are leaving the ship just after
I
you
would
lost a
actually call
game.
him a coward.
Uh,
Straight up call him a coward.
on that note, he has spoken about Rishabh Pant. Very, very defensive answer, very diplomatic answer. Rishabh Pant knows what the team expects. It's like the copy and paste from the last press conference that he came to. Rishabh Pant knows what the team expects from him. He has had success playing this way, but there's a fine line, and when you play such shots, I know I've known him for very long, and I know he wants to do well.
Your answer is in this.
That one line, fine line.
Exactly.
There's a fine line. I'm sure the dressing room will speak to Rishabh Pant. You can't come to a press conference and take him on, because then people will say, oh, the captain had an outburst in the press conference and all of that, and more when you are not doing well yourself. But I'm 100% sure Gautam Gambhir and Rohit Sharma and the rest of the management, Abhishek Nair and company, will have a chat with Rishabh Pant, because the way Rishabh Pant went about his business, it's okay. The way Rishabh Pant, 100 balls he has already played. He was in. He was looking in control. He was blocking. In fact, when he got hit, all three of us were there, and we said no aggressive shot. He blocked the next ball, and that's what temperament is about. Then you give it away and just play a stupid shot and lose your wicket and lose the game. All of us know Rishabh is a bundle of talent. But what is talent if you are not using common sense? Today, Rishabh Pant did not use common sense. And by saying what he has, Rohit Sharma clearly admits that, Trisha.
Absolutely. As I said, those 5 words were the main answer, that there's a fine line, and Rishabh has crossed that fine line in both the innings. Obviously, the second innings hurts more with the result. And I know a lot of people in the comment section are writing in that, we are blaming Rishabh Pant only and not Rohit and Kohli. Well, guys, we are speaking about Rohit and Kohli. I think you have selective listening problem. But the other part also is understand where Rishabh Pant got out. There is an entire session. We went till tea without losing wicket. One more hour, and we have been repeating this answer. One more hour, and you had saved the game. Is Rishabh Pant the only reason we lost? Of course not. But is Rishabh Pant one of the main reasons, or one of those moments where the game turned? Yes. Absolutely, yes. If you have any knowledge of cricket, you will understand that. Is this harsh on someone like Rishabh Pant? You know what? When you are a match winner, the expectation is higher. People abuse Kohli or abuse Rohit. Of course, the fandom issue, I'm leaving that aside, but also because of the expectation. It's the same thing with Rishabh Pant. Had Akashdeep hit that shot, nobody would have complained. It was Rishabh Pant, a well-settled Rishabh Pant, playing like a gem. Till then, Gargi, there was not even a place where you could say that he has edged the ball or he has looked edgy.
Exactly. Before he got out, we were speaking about it's especially at lunch. We were speaking about how responsibly how sensibly Rishabh Pant was back at batting, because after last innings, he showed you that he can take the game long. He can bat long. He can bat conventionally, not play any audacious shots. He showed us that. But where the turning point was obviously that shot. And you know what? Let's get this very, very clear. We don't have a problem with with how Rishabh Pant plays his game. The problem is that he played those two shots in the last innings and in this innings as well, when there was a field perfectly set for those exact shots. That's the problem. The problem is not with how he plays. He saved you number of games, but this was completely irresponsible both innings, and it's a repeated mistake that shouldn't have happened.
There's a question, Boyada. Sorry. So yeah.
Yeah, hi. I said, what about Jaiswal's dismissal? That was turning point. No Snicko. How was that given out?
Yeah, we'll
I'd love to
actually
hear your comment.
we'll answer that. Rohit Sharma said in the press conference, and he's right, that it was out. It was out, and it was out because you could see. Yeah. So the point is, according to the ICC rule book, the umpire is not only reliant on the Snicko. Simon Toffel explained it as well on Channel 7, that you don't only rely on the Snicko, you can rely on any other deviation. If you are convinced there is a deviation, you give him out. And Rohit acknowledged that there was a touch. Having said that, where you have a point, and a very important point, if the umpire is relying on common sense for Jaiswal, then he ought to have relied on common sense for Akashdeep. He
And for KL
overturned,
Rahul.
and for KL Rahul in Perth. What he did, he overturned the Akashdeep dismissal based on Snicko. So you did not depend on Snicko for Jaiswal. You went and depended on Snicko for Akashdeep. That for me is inconsistency, and that cannot happen. So clearly,
Ball was swinging. There was breeze.
no, there was
Deflection.
a deflection of the glove. As I said,
Glove should come up on Snicko.
yeah, yes, but Snicko did not. So technology malfunction.
Okay.
Having said that, if you are saying technology malfunction for Jaiswal,
Right.
then technology cannot be depended on for Akashdeep.
Correct.
So that's where my problem is, our problem is collectively,
Yeah.
because in Perth, you gave KL Rahul, you reversed the call using technology again. So right through the series, you have seen time and again inconsistencies creeping in umpiring, which is a problem. Which is a problem. Coming back,
Thank you.
cheers. In Sydney, the real elephant in the room, do we see our two top guys, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, the two guys who've done Indian cricket over the last 15 odd years? Can they step up in Sydney, or is it time to call it a day? If you don't perform Sydney, is it over? Is it over for Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? Because clearly, and I've been hearing this, retirement tonight, retirement tonight. You don't retire tonight and go, because if you do that, then you are not doing service as a captain or as leader. You play Sydney, you turn it around, you don't turn it around, you call it a day, but you've got to do that. You cannot desert your ship. With 3 days, by the way, 3 days to go between this test match. Tomorrow, travel day. India takes the 11:30 a.m. flight. 1st Jan, 2nd Jan and 3rd Jan, you're on. So this turnaround time between the Boxing Day and New Year test, just 3 days. So on 2nd will be an optional practice. 1st, the team will practice. On 3rd, you're on. Tomorrow's travel day. So this is the little time that you have. How do you get back Trisha? How do you get back? How do you get back Gargi? What is the talk that the dressing room will now have to do?
As I said, collectively sit down. And no, I don't think, I think a lot of people have spoken about Rohit and KL's batting order. I understand the confusion, but but here's the thing. If now Rohit changes his batting order yet again, makes no sense to me. As far as their retirement is concerned, of course, you have to wait for the Sydney test to get over. But harsh call if I say this, but I think Rohit does not look the part, unfortunately. So maybe time for Rohit. Kohli, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, definitely if they do not step up in Sydney, there has to be some decision taken by the management. Maybe sit them down and talk to them and say, Maybe time to look beyond them. Maybe time to replace them. But as of now, when you just have 2 days left, I don't see any reason to talk about their retirement. Now, what we need to do is, as I said, sit down as a team, talk about the roles. You need to change bowlers as well. We need more wicket-taking bowlers. Yes, Washington gives you the batting. I'm not 100% sure that Washi is being used properly. I don't even think that the problem is that Washington can't take wickets. I think he's used as a defensive bowler. That strategy needs to change. Rohit, as a captain, not only has to play, but he also has to step up as a captain and be much, much better than what he has done. Plans have to be clear, and over dependence on the lower middle order has to stop.
Questions?
Take the Shubman Gill point also.
Where?
The Shubman Gill point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Rohit Sharma in the press conference last time as well, when Abhishek Nair had come in, he had clarified that Shubman Gill was not dropped. Is that they wanted the combination of Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar at the MCG. So this is what Rohit Sharma said. I had a chat with Shubman. The chat was clearly that he wasn't dropped. We just wanted to have extra bit of cushioning in bowling. We wanted to bat as deep as possible along with the bowling attack, which can take 20 wickets. Unfortunately, we ended up compromising him. There's no doubt that he isn't batting well. He understood it. It is in the best interest of the team. What do you say?
Why so much PR? What PR? For PR for who?
Who
PR for who? PR for Rohit. Rohit. We've called Rohit has been the biggest problem in this series. We've called it time and again. Rohit has not contributed. He's time and again failed to lead as captain and batter. Where is the PR? Can you explain the meaning of PR? I don't think you know. I don't think you know.
That is what they have to write. They have to write that PR. Yeah, they have to write the word
9 players scored single digit run. What is that, boss? I don't think 9 players scored single digit run. Jaldi retire, nahi to whatever. Any decent question you have? I mean, question, because I can't even see without the glasses.
Yeah,
glasses are right on your-
I'll take. There was one. Okay, the one question I have is at what point were India playing for a draw, and at what point were they trying for a win? Because to me, none of the batters, including Jaiswal, had that clarity. I think until lunch, it was very, very clear that it was draw. I think after that as well, that Rishabh Pant shot was an aberration.
I don't think at any point in time India's approach was problematic.
No.
Let's give it to them. I don't think what.
Mazumdar just called that he should retire after this test.
Hello. There's one test match left in this series. 3 days to go. You want the captain to walk away in the middle of a series, Rohit and Kohli, and say, oh, hello, tata, bye-bye. This is not child's play that I'm playing cricket on my terrace. Yes, there are calls that need to be taken. 100% yes. After Sydney, do I see Rohit Sharma continuing in the red ball format? No. Do I see the selectors having a chat with him? Ajit Agarkar, Gautam Gambhir? Yes. Do I see Jasprit Bumrah leading the series in England if India goes on to lose this one in Sydney as well? 100% yes. If you have to take a call, you have to take that call at the end of the series. Unless Rohit comes out with a dramatic turnaround in Sydney. Do I see Rohit continuing with another failure? The answer is a blanket no. But when the team is traveling tomorrow morning, you want 2 retirements today and 2, you don't even have, by the way, 2 batters in your team.
Exactly.
So you have a Shubman Gill and you possibly will play Dhruv Jurel. That's not how cricket functions. That's not how team sport functions. But coming back, what was your question? The one that you asked?
When were they playing for a draw?
I don't think at any point in time India was going for a win.
Yeah.
After lunch, they were playing conventional cricket. If they did not lose a wicket after about an hour of tea, they could have calibrated. But 4th over after tea, that moment of madness, or 3rd over rather, that moment of madness from Rishabh Pant, and everything went downhill from there on. So I don't think at any point in time India was playing for a win.
Hi, Bhutta.
Hi.
You remember I met you in a lift today?
Yes.
See, when the on-field umpire haven't given out, is or not out, and he sent to the upstairs, until you have a not sufficient, the clue they haven't touched the gloves, how can you give out?
No.
This is not happened first time with the game.
No. Yeah, you are right that this has not happened the first time. The question was asked of the captain in the press conference.
Yeah.
And he said that, there was a glove and it was out. The question that you need to ask, and you rightly ask, is the inconsistency.
Of course.
Because if you are giving it out on the basis of the deviation that you're seeing with your, with naked eyes,
Yeah.
then you need not go to Snicko. The moment you go to Snicko, you are saying I'm reliant on that tech.
Yeah.
And then that tech is not showing a deviation.
Yeah.
So there is an inconsistency there, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, fair enough. There was a clear deviation you could see with the naked eye and you gave him out. Then don't give Akashdeep out.
Of
Because
course.
Akashdeep
Yes.
was you are using Snicko for Akashdeep.
Of course.
That is where my problem with the Bangladeshi third umpire,
Yeah.
that there was a clear case of inconsistency there,
Yeah.
which should not happen. But you did not lose because of that call. You lost because of
whatever Rishabh Pant have done.
Exactly.
Is after tea, at least go 7-8 over, just feel the row, 1 and 2, and last 10 over you can bang wherever you want to bang.
Yeah, correct.
See, smart. He bring that guy head. He got a fielder up then mid wicket and bring him off and just smack straight over the head.
And the point is, it's Travis Head bowling. It is not
Of course.
Ravichandran Ashwin
Of
bowling.
course.
When Travis Head is bowling, all you need to do is milk. Just
course.
milk the runs. It was completely
If
fine.
you see just before tea, just before tea 10 overs, they was flat out.
Even after tea.
Mitchell Starkey was so stiff. He pulled his back here and there, and I was so that he's limping.
Rohit Sharma get a try now. That's the main question.
Okay, go for it.
Thanks for that.
Welcome.
All right. Any more statements? from
Yeah,
the press conference?
Ripon has asked a question.
Yeah.
Is India completely out of WTC final, Boryada? Is India out of no?
No.
If you still draw 2-2 and Australia loses 2-0 against Sri Lanka, WTC is still on. It's not completely out. You've got to win Sydney. If you lose Sydney, you're finished. If you win Sydney and it's 2-2,
What if you draw Sydney?
No, then you're gone. If it's 2-1 Australia, then you now have to win Sydney. You have to win Sydney, make it 2-2, and then Australia loses in Sri Lanka, which is very possible with Prabhat Jayasuriya. Then there is a window of opportunity that opens up. But you have to win Sydney.
Yeah, I think the Australian batting lineup has kind of shown that there is fragility. But there was another question, Boryada, how should India approach Sydney? Rohit cannot defend properly. He should attack. Really, he cannot defend properly. I think he was playing well today, That did not make sense that he cannot defend properly. In fact, he got out trying to hit a weird shot. I mean, he chose the wrong ball to hit that shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saurabh Gupta is saying here.
There are some super chats. Can you quickly finish them off?
Okay, let me see. Let me check.
Ron, let's take the super chats.
Yes, please. Please flash the super chat. I just said super charge. I meant super chats.
Ajo. Thoughts?
I don't
Listen,
think.
I think there's a couple things first to say, regardless of the result, which is record for a Boxing Day crowd. You can't deny that India, they're the big ticket in world cricket. And this is a great place. I've been to Perth, I've been to Adelaide. The first time I found Rev Sports was Matchday -2. Rohit Juglan was the only reporter watching Rishabh Pant bat, and he gave such a detailed analysis. I thought, I'm going to stick with these guys all the way through. So that's why, I know you guys just came from Melbourne, but you guys work 12, 14-hour days, round the clock. First time here after a long time out of the game for you. So really happy for you. In terms of the actual test match, listen, I think people will talk about Rishabh Pant's shot. They'll talk about Jaiswal dropping. And in the concept of the test match, I think those are big. But I think if you look, as being an India fan, watching India for the last 2 or 3 years, we're having the same conversations again and again after games, which is bowling. Bowling, I don't think is an issue. You're taking 20 wickets. Yesterday, the bowling performance that we saw in the morning was one of the best we've seen. With an old ball, not really much in terms of conditions, and you're coming back into the game. But I think, we've had two big players, Rohit and Virat. But I think some of their conduct during the match and also their performances with the bat, making the same mistakes again. I think some tough questions have to be asked, because I was watching Shubman Gill in the Nets day 2 lunch, and not seeing him out there was really tough, to be honest.
Absolutely perfect call. That call has to be taken, but the time for that call is what is important. Do you call it now at the end of a loss and say, hello, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, both being dropped for Sydney is the answer? Maybe not. But Indian cricket needs proper planning. What's your name?
Jano.
You are the one who keeps asking questions.
Come on.
I've seen a lot of his questions and I've taken a lot of his questions. I've said this also on air that he follows his cricket. Absolutely, calls need to be taken, but what is the right time? I think Sydney will have to be the test match where Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli play. Post that test match, if India doesn't fire, if Rohit and Virat play exactly the way you do, sit them down and say, enough, because you have had great careers. Indian cricket, looking forward, you're not playing WTC final, England series, let's make a fresh start. You have a Shubman Gill, you have a Dhruv Jurel, you will get other batters in, and you have to have a fresh start. Nitish Kumar Reddy can even be pushed up the order, because if you are playing him as an all-rounder, you are not giving him enough overs. England, if he adds 6 yards of pace, Nitish Kumar Reddy can become a serious handful. Any further question? There were some super chats.
Yes, Rohan Rahul, please show us the super chats.
I think
There were a few. Yeah,
Can
just
you quickly tell me?
yes, it will take a second to flash. Okay, AHQ is asking if it's team first, then Pant. Uh, what he's saying is if it's a team first sport, then Pant's shots make him a droppable
Offense.
offense.
I mean, that is again a fair call, because we have in the past seen Sunil Gavaskar drop Kapil Dev for that Calcutta Test match. Yes, there was no Kapil, no Test. I was part of that Test match as a young kid. But Rishabh Pant, most importantly, you've got to play a team sport. Take responsibility from the standpoint of the team. Don't tell me I play these shots because I'm a maverick. That doesn't work. Then go play tennis. The truth is, that point in time, Rishabh Pant and Yashasvi Jaiswal had the match in control. That post-lunch session had given India control. Another hour without a wicket, and Australia would have given up. Because you were talking about 20, 25 overs with 5, 6 wickets. And you're Travis Head. All you need to do is milk. There's a long on there. Just take that single, done. You're taking the long on fielder on. And for me, that was a shocker. Yes, Rohit and Virat, but the match was not lost with Rohit and Virat. The match was lost with that one dismissal. Because after that, Jadeja, Nitish Reddy, one after the other. Had Pant and Jaiswal carried on for another hour, this game would be a draw. And India, possibly in with a chance for Sydney, WTC and everything else. That is what is hurting. We are gutted because India gave it up. India gifted wickets. Rohit Sharma, gifted wicket. Virat Kohli, gifted wicket. Rishabh Pant, gifted wicket. Yashasvi Jaiswal, gifted wicket.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. And I think also to give a credit to one of your team members who's not here, Bharat Ramraj, great analyst, by the way. This guy makes calls that you see after the game, but he makes them 2 months, 3 months before. And what I'm sure he'll point out is that India's wickets, a lot of them were caught. Australia's wickets, a lot of them LBW bowled. We had to earn our wickets. I think today we gave them away a bit too easily.
Not just today. Not just today.
Yeah, not just today, throughout the series.
Yeah.
But then also, I know that Rishabh Pant's shot will get a lot of attention, but I think, he did the hard bit. He played through a session. At that point, you needed 6 runs and over, which is not too difficult. I think he was right to be in that attacking mindset. It's just the shot that he played. Travis Head, you have a long on, you have a deep mid wicket. That's not the right shot. Was he right to attack? Yes, because if you want to play who's just going to block and get you a draw, then, he's not your man. But he's won games for India doing the exact same thing. And he's your young player, and he's a player for your future. So I think in terms of decisions for the future, I think you just, have a word with him. But it's nothing like, you mentioned when Sunny Gavaskar dropped Kapil Dev or Kapil Dev dropped Sunny Gavaskar, other way around. Whenever that was, Sunil Gavaskar, with all respect to Rohit Sharma is not Sunil Gavaskar as a test captain or as a test player. He doesn't have that same pedigree. So what I would have loved in that press conference or the interview, I haven't seen the press conference. In that interview, if he took... It's all well and good saying it's a team game when you're doing well. But when you're the captain, some of his body language out there when Jaiswal dropped those 3 catches, it wasn't good, and the fans in the ground were not, reacting well. Virat Kohli as well. We love him when he's an aggressive player on the front foot, but I think that incident with Constance, he was punching down. When you're an Indian cricketer, it's all right to show aggression, but when you should be punching up. I think that cricket has a great way of showing the older players the door and giving the fans something to see the new players coming through. I think if there's a story from this test match, it's Constance, Nitish Reddy, Yashasvi Jaiswal, these young 20-year-olds are taking, they're becoming the heroes, and your older players, I'm not going to say villains, but they're becoming the sideshow. And I think, however the decision is made, I think it would be great for Indian cricket if we start focusing on these new players with potential, yes, a bit raw, but with some future, and kind of phase these greats of the game out in a graceful way. Because if Ravichandran Ashwin is leaving halfway through Australia series, who's won you more tests than any other test player for India, maybe Virat Kohli accepted. If he's leaving halfway through a tour, not having his fairy tale ending, then I'm sorry, but no one in this test team has a right to a fairy tale ending.
One wrong doesn't make a right, but two wrongs don't add up. Having said that, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, the point that Jainil is trying to make, fair point. If they don't perform in Sydney, no one is bigger than the game. Also, we've seen a rediscovery of Steve Smith. Why is it that Virat Kohli will have to play that 8-stump line time and again? Is it about ego? Is it about self-discipline? Is it about what? Is it about self-discipline? Is it about ego? Is it about what? That's the key question that one needs to ask. Because Virat Kohli's dismissals, Australia now knows bowl channel, bowl 6-stump, bowl 7-stump. At some point in time, this guy will play. Start working on also. Let's come close. Yeah, so it's okay. Just leave that. So the point that we are trying to make before we close the show is no one is bigger than the game. Having said that, if we can see Virat Kohli and we say that he is the greatest of this era and we compare him with Tendulkar, the simple thing to ask, Tendulkar in Sydney 2004, self-discipline, curbing his ego, not playing a single cover drive. And each time I speak to Sachin, that's the innings we talk about. As far as Virat is concerned, you bowl him 6-stump, 7-stump, muscle memory tells him I can play that cover drive. That's where ego takes over. I thought Pant, ego took over in the first innings. Virat, ego takes over in this innings. Pant, again, ego takes over. Because you have a mid-wicket, you have a long on, you don't play that shot. It is about being smart. There is a fine line between bravado and stupidity. And as Gavaskar called it, it was stupidity. Rishabh Pant could have become the hero today. The platform was set for him and Jaiswal. Save that match. You've done the hard yards. Take credit for it. Become a hero. Don't give it up. Having said that, this is now a done test match. You've got to look forward. In 3 days' time, this team will step out at the Sydney Cricket Ground 2025 for the New Year test. Can you turn it around? People have in the past. After 36 all-out, India turned it around. Can India turn it around? Ravi Shastri and his support staff did the job. Can Gautam, Mone, Abhishek, Rohit, they do the job for India is the question to ask now. We can keep crying till the donkey comes home about Rishabh Pant's shot. It will not change. What will change is, can India take lessons? Can you now become far more self-disciplined in Sydney? You played 5 bowlers. What did Washington Sundar and Nitish Reddy bowl? 5 overs each. The moment your 2 top bowlers get tired, you are done. Because an Akashdeep played in a wrong test match. He should have played Adelaide, not this one. You should have played a hit-the-deck bowler. So there are multiple issues in terms of selection also that should have been addressed. Yes.
Super chat.
Yeah, quickly.
Jaiswal, KL, Gill, Kohli it's his
Team.
Kohli or Jurel, Pant, NKR, Washi, Akash, Bumrah, Rana, Siraj. Go all out for last test. Nothing to NTG to lose except respect. Nothing to lose except respect.
No, it doesn't happen in international cricket like that. International cricket doesn't work like that. I mean, a Sydney test match, you got to treat it as one-off and then go and square the series. You retain Border Gavaskar Trophy. If India wins Sydney, we still own the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Massive test match. So it's not about go all in and make stupid mistakes and lose again. Doesn't happen like that. Anything else?
No. Done.
Okay, so good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us, all of you. Trisha, Gargi, Jainil, anyone who watched, people who made those thousands of comments. I couldn't sort of take many. She did. Join us again at 5 o'clock as I decode the game at 5 India time, that is. And of course, tomorrow is our travel day as well, as the action now moves to Sydney. Melbourne Cricket Ground, not the best memory if you're an Indian fan, but if you're a cricket fan, till the last hour. 400,000 people watching that test match. One of the most interesting, unbelievably fought test matches that you can see. By the way, maximum crowd in this year. Also, the longest test match in 2024. No test match goes beyond 3 days now. So in that sense, this series is living up to the billing. Australia 2-1 ahead, but you can herald a turnaround. Sport is all about real, not real. And real is what will happen in Sydney. Can India believe? Does Rohit believe? Does Gautam believe? Does this team collectively believe that they can reenact Perth? We'll have to see. For the moment, though, it's 2-1 Australia. Congratulations to them because they kept it going. They kept the intensity. They won square. Umpiring inconsistencies notwithstanding, Australia the better team. No problems in accepting that. Thank you very much for watching.